another bug for me to squash. I don't give mercy. Can you hear me?
You're my savior.
You found a power key. Go slot it. Great.
You're a
You know
big
what to
help.
do with that key.
Yeah, that's been going on. I couldn't find a match for like 20 minutes.
Someone save me.
Kept getting failed to connect remembers.
You be careful too, okay?
He just turned the game off and put it and booted it back on. I guess sometimes that seems to work.
Use it quick. Flying Nimbus!
Gotta grab this Dragon Ball real quick.
That's a new power key. Place it now.
Bro, what movie? Correct me if I'm wrong. What movie does Broly learn key sense? Because there's the first Broly where he's on the fake planet Vegeta. There's a second movie where he comes back to Earth and fights he fights Trunks and Goten and Videl and Gohan. And there's the Bio Broly movie. So who taught this guy to key sense? Correct me if I'm wrong. Who taught Broly how to key sense? Because not even Frieza knows how to do that. So how does this dumbass guy know how to do it? What's wrong with the developers? They just make this guy so overpowered.
Bad. Somebody's down. Exercise extreme caution if you're going to help them.
Just a waste of time, bro. Fighting Broly's.
Hey, everyone.
Sir, only Goku and Vegeta should know key sense,
Flying
dog.
Nimbus!
You know? Certain Earthlings know how to sense key. Why does everyone know how to sense key, bro?
Ally down! If you intend to rescue them, watch out for enemies.
barrier.
Get up!
You know, I got a whole bunch of stuff to be doing. I really don't want to be playing right now. Get more matches like this and call it a night, dog.
Holy hell. You bastard!
Alright, man, just kill me. Like, ridiculous. I don't know what is worse, waiting 20 minutes for a match or facing Broly and dying in 2 minutes.
How great and no matter how limitless you assume for your power to ultimately be, Raijin says, in the end I am that much more powerful than you could ever hope in having to imagine for yourselves to go and be, which is why since you were so eager to go and test my resolve, Raijin adds upon them being shown completely disintegrating Brohan upon unleashing a massive blast upon him, because since this happens to be the case here between you fools, then allow for me to go right ahead and show it to you, Saiyans. As your very screams are just simply music to my ears, and so maybe now you can start to see on how completely hopeless both you, along with your entire universe, are in hopes of having you go and stop me here, mortals. And so now all this hereby now leaves us with here is you, Son Goku. And as I'm sure that it must be very difficult for you to go and breathe here, but now are you starting to finally understand as to what it was that I had been telling you, Raijin questions? For you and your little friends have spewed all that bravado of protecting your universe, and yet there you lie, struggling to breathe while having to go and watch as your miserable allies begin to fall one by one, while having you remain completely helpless and having to go and do anything about it to try to stop me. Well, worry not, my little insects, as you are here by now just moments away from having to go and join them within the afterlife shortly, but even that won't end up in having to last very long for you here either, because once I'm done with all of you here, Raijin continues, is when I will go on to ensure that the afterlife is also to go and be destroyed as well, along with whatever is to remain from your pathetic little universe too. But then, it was only just within these very moments now from out of nowhere, shockingly enough, as the demon Kibi was then shown quickly having to emerge and grabbing onto Raijin's hand and stopping him from destroying Goku, was when Kibi went on to then quickly respond, enough, any further, and as not only did I come to see right through your lies and right through your deception, Kibi continues, but my very eyes have now also been opened to the very fact that you never truly cared about any of us here to begin with, but had only rather ended up using us as tools in order for us to go and continue to build upon your ruling kingdom, Kibi says. And so whether I am destroyed by you during this battle here against you or not, I cannot go and allow for you to continue to go through with this, especially not while I know the truth about it all, Lord Raijin, with Raijin responding, you again. So this entire time it was you who had plotted here against me after all. For I knew that you had been hiding something from me this entire time, and now that I am able to see on where your loyalty here truly lies, I am going to make sure to go and bathe the heavens above in your blood for what you have went and done here, demon. For not only am I now able to fully come to understand the revelations behind that fallen angel Murno, whose initial call was to destroy everything in the first place, but now that I can see that he truly had a point in wanting to go and annihilate the cosmos first before having to usher in his new utopia, Raijin continues, as now I can see on precisely why such destruction is imperative, which is to have me go and cleanse this entire reality of traitors such as you and to obliterate the old order that is riddled with disloyalty and cowardice. And now that I can see on exactly where your loyalty is truly placed here within, Raijin continues, you are going to suffer a wrath so painful for your actions that once I am done in having to go and tear the rest of these vermin apart, will I only then go as far as to savor each moment here with you, as I intend on having to go and save you for last, Kibi. But then, it was only just then from out of nowhere within these very moments now, as Whis went on to make his re-entry by having to kick Raijin away, was when Whis went on to then quickly respond, "You will not, so as long as I continue to stand across from you, be allowed to be successful enough in having you carry out any more of these horrifying crimes, demon. For our mission must still go and be carried out here no matter the cost, and so now hurry," Whis went on to then turn towards Goku by responding, "For now is not the time for us to go and perish here during this battle here against them, especially since this is still very far from having this be over, and so now relax yourself for just one moment as I will go and heal you in the meantime, along with having to go and bring back Brohan from the grave," Whis says. And since we only have but a few seconds here before Raijin is to go and attack us, there is something that I am now beginning to notice about Raijin, Whis adds, which is ultimately now starting to translate more and more and having his demeanor reflect that onto my brother Murno, and as I fear that if my suspicions are to go and be proven true here, Whis adds, then I fear that he will only continue to adapt his destructive mentality more and more, which is why you will all need to rise besides me and continue to battle before he is to go and resuming his mission by going as far as to destroy all of us, with Goku responding, Wait, you what? But how are you able to tell, Whis? Because not for nothing here, but I think he was planning on wiping us all out here either way, and so how exactly can you go and tell that something is starting to change about him?" With Whis responding, "Now although I can't say for sure on what it is that I'm able to go and sense that is different here, but if anyone knows on how Murno was," Whis continues, "then it would surely be me, and while I don't know as to what we can go and expect from here, what I can ultimately go as far as to say is that the Raijin that we have seen and engaged with here before prior to having him go and use those configuration cubes seems different," with Goku responding, "Wait, so if you think that something is starting to change and this change is starting to echo from somewhere deep inside of him while beginning to take up Murno's approach more and more, then what do you think our chances are here in having any of us be the driving forces to go and weaken him?" With Whis responding, "Well, to that I don't know, and I say this because with Murno we had to try and stall out long enough for the Grand Minister and the Omni Kings to arrive at the time to which they did in order for them to go and stop Murno, but with Raijin here," Whis continues, "well, I'm afraid that since we don't fully know as to where the Omni Kings are at the moment, despite with you having to go and set them free when you did, Goku, which simply put, to go and make matters worse here is not only do we have no clue on where any of them currently are, or even let alone in having to get a sense of where the Grand Minister is and if the Omni Kings were able to go and reach him or not, but since we are all that is left, while I had instructed for the other angels and gods of destruction to remain at their posts in order to further defend their universes from any of Raijin's hostile forces that might look to invade," Whis says, "we are all currently here what stands across from him in direct opposition, and since we are, neither one of you can go and afford to leave my side lest you want to go and be destroyed by him like he was almost shown in having to nearly do if I didn't already go and rescue you both in the meantime, and so now hurry," with Goku then being shown acknowledging Kibi by then responding, "Well, hey, thanks for the save there, Kibi, but tell me, can you still fight, and are you able to go and manage on your own? And more importantly is, what about anyone else? Were you able to go and get through and having any of the other demons join you and will be able to go and fight alongside with us?" With Kibi responding, "I am, but as for anyone else, I can't say for sure on if I'm going to be the only one of my kind who will help aid you throughout this coming conflict against Raijin," Kibi says, "but while now isn't the time for us to go and ponder on any ideas since we have company coming up ahead, so as long as we continue to push back against them, do I only then believe that something is bound to crack and having it favor us within this coming battle, and so we mustn't go and waver no matter how bad things end up getting out here, Saiyan. And since I now fully understand on exactly which side of the annals of history I will be standing and fighting for," Kibi shouts, "I will hereby go and do all that I possibly can to go and ensure that this monster is destroyed, even if that ultimately means that I will need to go and stake my life in order for this to go and happen." To which it was only within these very moments now, as Kibi went as far as to reveal the fruits of his transformation by having to now access and unveil his evolved form onto the surface, was when Goku then went on to quickly chime in, "Whoa, Kibi, I didn't know that you had some kind of an advanced transformation like that, but do you think that it'll actually be enough in working here against Raijin?" With Kibi responding, "Unfortunately, my evolved level of power will be nowhere near in having this be in what it'll take to actually go and destroy Raijin during our battle here against him, but it will only rather go and allow for me to buy enough time to at least hold out long enough in order for me to go and survive against him here. However, as Raijin continues to treat us as though we are nothing more than mere food which he is currently playing with, Kibi continues, I can only continue to provide you all with as much assistance that I possibly can, which only now means that unless something changes, then we will only have to go and continue to fight for our survival while Raijin remains here in complete control of this battle, with Whis then being shown having to quickly chime in. And I'm afraid that the young demon here is right, because while Raijin remains far stronger than either one of us who are presently here can hope to go and stand up against Raijin, his entire demeanor has completely started to change upon having to be shown getting thrown out of that unknown realm in which he had went and used those 3 configuration cubes for. But while I can only assume that Raijin is beginning to take up more of my brother Murno's attitude as he now seeks to level not just us but the entirety of everything as we have come to know it before he decides to usher in his new utopia, we cannot continue to go and assume that he can be simply destroyed here while in a head-on direct battle here against us, but instead, Whis adds, we will instead need to go and hurry and try to figure out of a way to see if we can tire him down somehow, which is simply because while he still appears to be holding back tremendous amounts of power in spite of wanting to slowly prolong and savor our suffering, Whis continues, our one and only chance is to
It's serious. Tier stream you match together? That's because there's not a lot of people playing. So if you queue the same time I queue, there's a good chance we're gonna get in the same match, right? This is gonna get Raider queue. One of us is gonna get survivors. So it happens if we happen to queue at the same time. Oh yeah, we got what? One more week until that conference starts?
Can you hear me? Flying ninja trucks! I've set a super time machine, as well as a crate of supplies. Here's how to launch. Find the power keys, then place them in the right spots.
Amen. fuck this C key is. Sorry, this A key is. And that B key is right there, so I can't even plant that right now. Still have to plant this E key. Nothing I could do. I had no dragon change.